Hello there everyone, this is Felix from Felix the Dev, where coding is a lifestyle. And for those who are new to my channel, my name is Felix, and on this channel I help people learning how to code, also computer science students completing their degrees. So if you like these types of videos, don't forget to subscribe, because I make videos almost every week to help you in your journey. So let's get started. Today we're going to talk about some guidelines you can use to know if you are ready to apply for your first software development job. So, why should we talk about this? Why am I making this video? Because you may be a self-taught programmer, self-taught software developer, and you still don't know if you know enough to apply for your first job as a software developer. So, also, you may be a computer science student that is completing their degrees and you're going to apply for your first job or you're transitioning to the professional world. So these are just guidelines that I've learned through the years, and these are just top of my head to help you know if you're ready to apply for that first development job, also known as a junior developer role, or also a entry-level developer role, software developer role. So as a side note, this is just based on my experience. These are not solid rules that you need to follow. These are just guidelines. The main idea of this video is to serve as mentorship for upcoming developers and just give you a guide and be that mentor that you may need to know if you're ready. So these are just in my experience as a professional software developer. So what are the guidelines you can use to know if you're ready for your first job as a software developer? Tip number one is you understand the fundamentals. So what I'm trying to say here is that make sure you understand the fundamentals of the programming languages, technologies, and frameworks that you have invested your time in learning for the job. So for example, let's say you are learning JavaScript for the job. So make sure you know the fundamental ideas and concepts that are required in this programming language. Make sure you know things like declaring variables, writing loops, functions, things like let and const, difference between them, what is the DOM, and not only make sure you understand the theory behind these concepts, but make sure that you know how to apply them to solve problems, algorithms, build applications, and just build real-world applications, because these concepts may come up in the technical interview. And they can be asked in the form of questions like, what is the difference between let and const, things like that. So make sure, because these are just concepts that are particular to JavaScript, but make sure that you know the fundamentals of any programming language that, or the frameworks that are going to be used in the job and that you have invested your time in learning. Maybe self-taught or as a computer science student just preparing themselves to transition to the professional world. So that's a tip number one. Make sure you understand the fundamentals. So tip number two, guys, you have tangible products of your work. So what I'm trying to say here is you can talk the talk, but you can also walk the walk. And this is very important because this has to show that you have built applications, software applications. These can be side projects, by the way. They don't have to be paid applications. And the point is that you have gone from the entire software development process. So you've gone from idea to product. So you did the mockups. This could be with things such as Sketch, or just you did them by handwriting with lines, and just took that idea, did the mockups, and developed, also you chose the tools according to solving the problem, the best tools that you could find, and you made the application, you wrote the code. So why is this important? Because this is what you're going to do in the job. So if you can showcase that, if you've gone through the whole entire process, that's the second sign, I would say, that it shows that you're ready for your first software development job. And why is this important? Because as a software developer, there's going to be different cases. You can maybe build a web application to solve a problem. So that's a specific set of tools. So that process from idea to application is very important, because that's what they're going to pay you as your potential employer. So make sure you master that. And the great thing about having the portfolio, that's how I call it, of projects, right, of tangible products of your work, is that you can showcase them in the interview. You can show the interviewer, like, explain your thought process on how you solve the problem, you built the application. You can even upload the code to GitHub and show them the code, and this like way better because they can actually see what you wrote, and you can engage in a conversation, which is awesome. So that's the second tip, guys. You have tangible products of your work. If you've gone through the software development process, that's a great indicator that you're ready. So also, as a side note, guys, you don't have to be an expert. You know, just that because at this point of your career, you're going to be a junior developer. You're going to be an entry-level developer. So if you've gone through this process and you show that you can add value to the team, which is what I always tell my students, that you can show that you can add value to the team, then it's awesome, because that's a great indicator. Because that's what employers look for, like software developers, people who can add value to the team and produce real-world results. So if you can focus on applying and showing that you can produce real-world applications, then that's a great indicator. So tip number 3, guys, is you know how to use version control. And this one, I think it's very it's important that we talk about it. You know, not important in my opinion compared to the other two, but if you know version control, it's a great indicator that you're ready, in my experience, because as a software developer, you're gonna use version control system. In most cases, that's my experience. I've always used it. And you know what version control is, and you know how to use it. That's the most important thing, because this is an excellent tool you can use to work on teams with other developers, to add features to an app, to keep track of the code. So an example of this is Git, which is very useful, very good for this, because like I said, you can keep track of the code, and also it's great to work with other developers, you know, especially if the project's really big. So that's why it's very good. So my advice is upload examples of your code to practice the skill of using version control to places like GitHub. So also you can showcase the code, like I said on the previous tip on the interview. So this is a way you can leverage that. So just practice of adding features to your app on using a version control. You know, things like pushing your code to GitHub, adding your commits, and all those commands that you're gonna learn. So if you can use version control, and if you can do this on a daily basis as you code by yourself, this is a great indicator, because this is a very essential tool. At least I use it. You know, as a software developer, it's very useful. So, if you know version control, it's a good indicator. So there you have it, guys. Some advice to guide you to decide if you're ready for your first software. If you're ready to apply for your first software developer job, and the best way to find out is to apply and go on interviews. These are just, like I said, these are just guidelines, and the purpose of this video is to serve as a mentor for you guys, to help you out and guide you there. So also check out the Medium article I made on this topic. The link is on the description. If you obtain anything from this video, please hit that like button. Also comment on the video if this video helped you, or things that you're doing to prepare for your first software development job. So drop a comment below. Also share this video with a friend because you don't know, it might help them. So share it, share it with all of your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on social media, Twitter. The link is on the description of all my social media. So I will see you guys on the next video. So remember, guys, this was Felix the Dev, and these were just guidelines. So remember, apply. Use the feedback that you gain on your interviews. But I hope these guidelines were useful. So this was Felix from Felix the Dev, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great week, guys. Take care.